Okay. Okay, let Julian get the box. Thank you for helping. All right. Can you find a seat, everybody? You know what? I think I'm going to sit down too because I just feel so much more comfortable telling stories when I'm sitting down. Do you like that? Yeah? Well, you know what? This is the guide, and the kids bring this home during the week. And sometimes when I have a couple of free minutes, which isn't very often in my house, I pick it up and read it. And my daughter-in-law was a little concerned about one of the stories, and I thought, I wonder why. So I picked up the paper and I read it. It says, "Help, I shot my sister." That doesn't sound like a very good story, does it? But look at that picture. Can you see what those are? I thought this story was so important to read to you guys today, so that's why I brought it. So if those of you who've already read it, let's not spoil it, okay? This is about a little boy named Jason and his little sister Tracy. It says, Jason loved his little sister Tracy more than anybody in the world, other than his mom and dad, of course. Tracy loved her brother too. She followed him around the house almost better than his own shadow. That means she was everywhere Jason was. Second, Tracy, Jason loved his toy gun. That doesn't sound good. Bang, 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 he says. You're dead. Uh-oh. Tracy, you're supposed to fall on the floor when I shoot you, silly. So Tracy fell over on command. Jason, not like that, he said. That is not how you play dead. So he showed her. That doesn't look real. Look like this. Jason gave the toy gun to his sister. You shoot me, Tracy, and I'll show you how to play dead. You want me to shoot you? Tracy's big blue eyes looked up at him and then back down at the toy gun in her hand. Hurry up, he said, hurry up. Okay, said Tracy. Tracy aimed the gun very playfully at her brother. I'm going to shoot you. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, you got me, he said. He groaned, and soon as he heard Tracy's timid bang, he held his chest, and he rolled his eyes, and he froze, and then he fell over. His sister ran over, and she tickled him until he was no longer able to keep a straight face. Soon they were both laughing. Bang, 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 bang. The television beamed another murder scene from the Cops and Robbers show. The two sat on the bedroom floor. Their eyes were glued to the TV. Jason loved these programs with shooting in them. Every day when Jason came home from school, his mother would be at work, and he and Tracy would watch his favorite shows undisturbed. That means there was no mommy there to tell him not to watch it. Suddenly, Mother walked in. What are you watching, Jason? Flip off that television set immediately and let me have your guns. You have been playing with guns again. You must not point guns at people, Jason. Guns are made to kill. Do you want to kill somebody, Jason? Jason shook his head. No, I don't think Jesus would want you to have a gun. Do you, Jason? Do you really think Jesus wants you to have a gun? Jason smiled. Oh, he rolled his eyes a little bit in his head. He thought that toy guns weren't real, so they're not going to hurt anybody. You're not listening to me, Jason. Give me that gun, Mother said, and Jason obeyed. Mother hid them where she felt that he would never find them. One day, though, when Mother was at work, Jason wanted to play cops and robbers. Well, he decided to go look for the guns, but he couldn't find them anywhere. Mother had really hidden them well. So he and Tracy, they looked in their parents' room, and they found a gun. And another one was with it. So there were two guns. Jason handed Tracy one, and he kept one for himself. Well, let's go play cops and robbers, and his sister played with him. Wait, let's listen, see what's going to happen. Tracy ran off first, and she ran as fast as her little legs could carry. Jason counted slowly. Then he began to search. He walked into this room. She wasn't there. He walked into that room, and she wasn't there. And then, all of a sudden, the gun came up, cop style. He had made sure that he was not exposed in that doorway because he didn't want Tracy to see him. He twisted his body around, just like they did in the movies. He spied in the kitchen. He crept into the living room. He checked. Tracy wasn't there. He checked in the bedroom. No trace of Tracy there. Then he heard a noise, and he was in hot pursuit. He went into the living room again. There Tracy was at last. Freeze! Tracy froze. She stood very still. Bang! Went the gun. He pulled the trigger. It wasn't a sound effect. No, the gun was not a toy. It felt very warm in his little hand. The bullet had whizzed through the room, penetrated Tracy, and her blood came out of her. It got on Jason's face and his clothes. Jason saw his little sister slump down onto the floor, and red blood came from her body and formed a little pool. Jason froze. Oh, this was not really television. This was his sister, and she was really, really hurt. He dashed to the phone. Oh, Tracy! He went to his sister. Are you all right? He called 911. Operator, help me, he said. I shot my little sister, but I didn't mean to. I didn't know the gun was real. I really didn't mean to. Oh, I didn't know the gun was loaded. I thought it was a toy. I found it in my father's bedroom. I love my sister. Hurry, don't want her to die. The operator talked to Jason the whole time that the ambulance was on the way. She tried to keep him calm because she needed him to stay on the phone. Jason heard himself pleading frantically, please, 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 God, don't let my little sister die. Jason heard the routine questions from the police. He looked at the house, but there was no mom and dad at home. That was very sad. There was no pulse in little Tracy when the paramedics got there. Jason heard them saying, "Oh, she didn't suffer, but she won't be coming back, Jason." And then Mom and Dad were there. They were looking. "Oh, Mother," Jason said. He told her everything. "It's not your fault," Mother said. "You did everything you could." Then the pain hit her. Her little girl wasn't going to be there anymore. She wasn't going to get a hug anymore from her little girl. She had left the comfort of herself, and she tried to comfort Jason as much as she could. In school, after the funeral, Jason and his classmates were shooting one another with toy guns. Jason got an idea because it made him very scared. After school, he shared an idea with his parents, and they thought, what a great idea. So the next week, the high school kids and the elementary kids all got together in the town. They gathered together. Everyone in the town had been invited. In fact, nearly everybody was there. Jason and his parents sat at a table. Technicians wired up Jason so he could use a microphone to talk. All eyes turned towards Jason, and he stood up very nervously. Have you ever been nervous? Yeah. The cameras flashed, and they hummed. And you know what he said? "I shot my little sister." And he had tears in his eyes, and his voice was a little bit shaky. But I didn't mean to, he said. I loved my sister, and I loved to aim toys at people. But now my sister is dead. And this could happen to you, he said. Toy guns are not dangerous in cartoons, but they are in real life. And in cartoons, steamrollers crush everything. So let's bring all of our toy guns and let's crush them. Wow. Father stood up and he contacted the press already, and we already have a steamroller. But all we need are all the toy guns. So during the next few days, if all the children in town will come and bring all their toy guns, we're going to make a big pile, and a television crew will come and film. And they did. All the boys and girls brought their toy guns, and they brought them, and you know what a steamroller is, right? It's one of those great big machines, and they got a great big wheel on the front, and you know how we drive on what we call asphalt? They're super, super hot, and they're super, super heavy. And they rolled right over all those guns, crushed them all. Because you know what Jason told him? Guns are dangerous. Toy guns, they're okay. But you know what? That makes you want to actually get a gun. And guns can really hurt. The story about this is Jason didn't really obey, did he? Because Mother had told him not to use the guns, but he decided that he really wanted to. There's a commandment. Can anybody tell me where the commandments are found? Somebody out of my class? Where are they?
In Exodus what? Exodus 20 through 21.
It is. And what is the fifth commandment? Go ahead.
Thou shalt honor your mother and father.
Oh. So honoring your mother and father means you should obey them, right? So if they tell you not to get into the cookie jar, we don't get into the cookie jar, right? And if they tell us to go to bed on time, we go to bed on time, right? So if Jason had to listen to his mother, do you think his little sister would still be with us today? She would, wouldn't she? So let's always try to remember when our parents tell us something, they know best. But I just thought this story was kind of important to tell you because I have 7 little grandsons and they like to play pretend shoot guns and sometimes just with their fingers. So I want everybody to know that guns are very real and they will hurt you. So you need to be very careful. Always listen and don't ever get into anything that you're not supposed to get into because there's always a consequence for when we do something wrong, right? Okay, let's go back to our seats very quietly.